Good evening, everyone. Good evening, Jai Hind, and welcome to Khan Global Studies. I hope I am properly audible and visible to you. Good evening. So, I guess I am properly audible and visible to all of you. Good evening. Yes. So, thank you for confirming this. Good evening, everyone. So, tell me, how are you doing? I hope all of you are good. I hope all of you are doing well. Good evening. So, I hope all of you are doing well. Okay. So, in the last session, we have discussed about certain topics, like we have talked about rule of law. We have also talked about the plastic ban in the state of Kerala. We have also seen that what is the impact of plastics. Then we have talked about other topics as well. Okay. Now, in today's session, the topics which we are going to study about, let's see the topics. The first one which we are going to talk about is with respect to India and US. It is from the IR section. It is from India and US section. That is, India has said that we are not going to accept any mediation on the issue of Kashmir, on issue of India versus Pakistan. Okay. So that is one part which has been said by India. And in that light also, we will try to examine India and US relation. We will try to examine this India-US relation. So that is our first topic from the IR section. The second topic which we are also going to see is India and Canada relation. So there have been again resumption of some of those services. Like last day also I told you that we have seen that high commissioners, they are going to be reinstated. Visa services are going to be started. Then we see that there is going to be a talk about trade also and other parts also. So that is again like beginning of the relation again, or resumption of the relations again. So that is the second topic which we are going to discuss. The third topic is from miscellaneous section, that is Operation Sindhu. So we see that recently there was this recently the Operation Sindhu is going on, and this is for evacuation of citizens of India, those who are stuck in Iran. Then we are going to talk about this one topic, that is IST, Indian Standard Time. So recently there has been a little bit discussion about it. So we are going to talk about this one also. It is part of your geography section. Okay. There is a very few articles in the entire year with respect to geography. And one of that article is with respect to Indian Standard Time. Then we are going to talk about one part from environment, that is UN Ocean Conference. So recently we have talked about this biodiversity beyond natural jurisdiction. So in the same context, we have a little bit discussion about the United Nations Ocean Conference. We will try to see what it is, what things have been finalized here. So we will try to understand this. Okay. But before we go into that, let us solve some questions from the previous session. So we have this first question, and today we have many from the previous year questions. So this is one of the question. In essence, what does due process of law mean? This is one question from 2023. The principle of natural justice, the procedure established by law, fair application of law, and equality before law. So due process of law means what? This is one from Polity section. I think some of you may have read it in a static part as well. Okay. So this is one question. What is the meaning of due process of law? In India, earlier we were having this provision of procedure established by law. But later on what we see that the judiciary started using the due process of law also. So what is the meaning of this due process of law? What do we mean by this due process of law? B option, procedure established by law. Due process of law is quite different from procedure established by law. Let me tell you example. Like suppose that there is one thing called as procedure established by law. For example, let us say that like Parliament is empowered to make a law on any subject. Okay. So what is procedure established by law? That Parliament can make like Parliament can amend any part of the Constitution. So that is procedure established by law. You know that under this article, like under Constitution, under Article 368, Parliament can amend any part of the Constitution. So that is the procedure established by law. But then there is one thing called as due process of law. So Parliament can amend anything, but not the basic structure of the Constitution. That comes under this due process of law. That even though Parliament is empowered, but it cannot change the very fundamentals of our Constitution. So procedure established by law is a different thing, and due process of law is different thing. Due process of law means fair application of the law. That law has to be applied in a fair manner, not just the procedure established by law. Procedure means if there is a procedure provided, if the Parliament has followed that, then their law will be correct. But due process of law says that it should not only be the process which matters, it is the end which also matters, that what law has been actually made. If it is violating the Constitution, if it is violating the fundamental right, then it will not be correct. So this second part here is that here the answer will be C option, fair application of law. Which of the following are regarded as the main feature of rule of law? First is saying limitation of power, equality before law, people's responsibility to the government, liberty and civil rights. So in main feature of rule of law, what do we have? So when we have this one question, which of the following are regarded as main feature of rule of law? Limitations of power, equality before law, people's responsibility to government, and the fourth one is saying liberty and civil rights. So you have option 1 and 3, 2 and 4, 1, 2 and 4, and 1, 2, 3 and 4. So what will be the answer here? So I think in this question, people are going for option number C. That is 1, 2 and 4. So yes, that one question will be correct. That one thing is correct. Limitations of power, equality before law, and liberty and civil right. It's not that under this rule of law that people are responsible to government. No. Okay. There is a limitation on the government. That is the correct part. So 1, 2 and 4 will be the correct part. Now there is the third question. Why is there a great concern about the microbeads that are released into environment? Why there is a concern about microbeads that are released into the environment? The first one is saying they are considered harmful to marine ecosystem. They are considered to cause skin cancer in children. They are small enough to be absorbed by crop plants in irrigated fields. They are often found to be used as food adulterant. So, quite a close question. Quite a close question. Radhe Radhe. So please tell the answer. What will be the answer in this question? A option. they are considered harmful to, yes, I think we have seen this question in past also, and I think most of you know this answer. They are considered harmful to marine ecosystem. So that is the correct answer. Okay. So here the answer is, the most correct one answer is A option, that they are considered harmful to marine ecosystem. Yes, that's also true that they are small enough to be absorbed by crop plants, but it's not in that much of problem. In the marine ecosystem, right now we see that it is the major problem. And it's also true that many of these microbeads or microplastics are also getting absorbed by the plants. Okay. But right now the major risk is still the option number A. Now, one more question. I think this is one of the topic which we have read a few days back. A few days back we have studied about this topic. So here we have this one question about International Atomic Energy Agency. In the Indian context, what is the implication of ratifying the additional protocol with the IAEA? The civil nuclear reactors come under IAEA safeguards. The military nuclear installation come under the inspection of IAEA. The country will have the privilege to buy uranium from the NSG. The country automatically becomes the member of NSG. So we have discussed about nuclear doctrine also. We have discussed about NSG also. And in the previous week, or perhaps in this week itself, we have discussed about this IAEA also, International Atomic Energy Agency. So in this context, what will be the correct answer? What is going to be the correct answer here? June? So you are not able to see this part. I think the questions are visible to everyone. I think I am having it on mobile also and a screen also. It is quite visible. I guess so. Yes. So if we look at this, the civil nuclear reactors come under IAEA under the safeguards. Under IAEA safeguards. So that first answer is correct here, not the B option. It will be A option. We have never allowed IAEA or any other agency to check our nuclear weapons or to see our nuclear weapons. So here the answer is option number A. Okay. So let's start with today's session. Okay. Yes, visible? Yeah, good. So let's start with today's session. And the first topic which we are going to see here is about India versus USA. So there has been a lot of debate, discussion. We have also talked about it many a times. We have talked about this many a times. So now again at the global forums, India has made it very much clear that India has never accepted any third party mediation on Kashmir or India-Pakistan conflict, and India will never accept any other, or India will never accept anyone's mediation with respect to India-Pakistan conflict or Kashmir conflict. As per the Shimla Agreement, this is a bilateral relation and it will continue to remain a bilateral relation. So we have made it pretty clear from the beginning to the present time that now and forever, India and Pakistan issue or the Kashmir issue, in which Pakistan has illegally occupied certain area, that is going to remain our bilateral issue. We are not going to accept any third party mediation. We are not Ukraine. We are not Ukraine that US can come over and tell that what you have to do. Okay. So this is one thing which has been said by India. Now there has been a counter statement again by Donald Trump. So Donald Trump is also not taking any step back. Donald Trump has again come with same thing. They have said that Indian Prime Minister is a very fantastic person. We are going to have a trade deal with India. But yes, I have stopped the war between India and Pakistan. Okay. So from both sides, we see that there is a continuous argument. India has said that we have and we will never accept any third party mediation. On the other side, Donald Trump has again said this, okay, that they have helped to stop the war between India and Pakistan. So this is one of the challenge which is going on between India and Pakistan, India and US relation. This is not much of a matter, but it has been dragged for almost 1 month now. And like, Donald Trump, he has this one personality. Where he wants to show the world that he is the one who matters in all these things. So he is continuously reiterating his comment that he has stopped the war between India and Pakistan. Now, there is a challenge with respect to India and US relation due to this. When we are talking about India and US relation, so what we see that, like, there are different phases. There is one phase of optimism, initial optimism. There is one phase of initial optimism, okay, that India and US, they were going for a deep strategic partnership. Okay. India and US were going for deep strategic partnership. Deep strategic partnership. Why or on what grounds? There are multiple grounds. Okay. We see that we have the same democratic value and geopolitical alignment. There are two reasons for this. One is democratic values, and geopolitical alignment. Like our interests are aligned. Our interests are aligned in case of Indo-Pacific also, in terms of global peace also, in terms of China matter also. Okay. So there was a mutual ambition. On which this partnership has been built. But right now what we see that after this phase of initial optimism, there is a phase of emergent drift. There is a phase of emergent drift. Okay. There is a phase of this emergent drift, okay, or emerging drift. We can say emergent drift or emerging drift. So why this emerging drift is there? Now we see that a drift means a separation is seen in case of India and US. And this has just because of one thing, transactionalism. Transactionalism under Trump. Okay. So what we have seen that, like, it is because of the leadership. It is because of leadership that we see that this drift between India and US is coming to the forefront at global platforms now. We were having a very good relation going on in the last 10-15 years, especially after 2004, 2005. After that, we have seen that a good relation was going on between India and United States. But in the recent times, with the Trump 2.0 era, what we see that now Trump has become much more like transactional in nature. They are like picking these topics which doesn't even mean or which doesn't have any impact in long term. But just for some political gains, like praising Pakistan, okay, or saying something about tariff, saying something about the policies in India, saying random comments with respect to anything in India. Okay. So what we see that this personal leadership of Donald Trump, now it has become one of the serious drift in India-US relation. Then the second part is they are having this like a short-term vision. They are having this short-term vision. And there is a reason for that. There is a reason for that. Donald Trump knows this part, that he is going to have a maximum of 3 years of his tenure. After 3 years, he will have no political career. So he is going to be famous only for the next 3 years. And after that, he is going to have no such political career. So he wants to maximize his popularity within the next 3 years. He wants to maximize his popularity within 3 years. And what we see that like he may be trying to get a Nobel Prize, he may be trying to get something in US. So whatever be the reason, there is a short-term view. There is a short-term view over the long-term view adopted by India. Okay. So what we see that Trump inconsistent policy, okay, and this prioritization of showmanship over diplomacy, that is one of the reason. Okay. So what we see that in this case, in the case of United States, right now we see that there is a inconsistent policy, priority to showmanship over diplomacy. Just to give you an example, there was a very popular web series at one point of time. It's not that much popular, but at one point of time, there was a very popular web series that was Game of Thrones. Okay. So in one of those episodes, a young person was appointed as king, and no one was giving that much of value to him. Okay. So he used to say this to all the people all the time, that I am the king, I am the king. And then a senior member from his family itself told him that a king who has to tell the people that he is the king is not a true king. And you will find that many a times Donald Trump is doing the same thing, that he is telling the people that I am the president of United States. The whole world knows that you are the president. There is not a single person in the geopolitics who doesn't know that you are the president of US. So if you have to tell the world that you are the president of US, then perhaps you are having doubt over yourself. So that is the challenge. The US policy right now is not about diplomacy. Right now it has no structured view, no permanent view. It is just about showmanship. That how they can show that Donald Trump is the best human ever born in the 2.4 billion years. Okay. So that is one thing which is going on in US right now. So this showmanship is there. But despite all this, there is some structural strength which is still existing. What we see that despite all these things, there are some positive scopes. Structural strength. Okay. And what is that? Okay. What is that part? Like we are still having shared interest, and we are still having shared interest with respect to Indo-Pacific stability. So that is one thing which we see here. Okay. And this structural strength, that we are still caring about the Indo-Pacific stability. We still want the area to develop, to become integrated, to have more trade. This is one thing which can bring back the optimism. This can bring back the optimism. So that is the complete cycle. What we see that initial optimism, then we see the emerging drift, then we see this short-term vision of US, but still after this, there is a ray of hope, and that is our vision of Indo-Pacific stability. So that is the one ray of hope on which we think that okay, maybe for 1 year or 2 years it may remain a challenge, but after that it may come down back to the spot where India and US could have a good relation. So right now the relation is not because like US and India are having different ideology. Right now the challenge is the person who is over there is having a different ideology. So that is the region between India and US. Yeah. Why America imposes its decision over India? America right now is thinking that they are the world guardian. They can impose any decision on anyone. Yeah. There is a question from Payal that is this session useful for BPSC student? Payal, see, the thing is that we are talking here mainly about UPSC topic. Most of them are related to UPSC. Some topics may be relevant for BPSC, but I cannot say that it is totally for BPSC. Yes, Manish, you can definitely ask it. Okay. Transactionalism means like not seeing the broader picture, just trying to like just trying to get all the praises, trying to get smaller successes. That is one thing. Like suppose, just to give an example, like suppose you are having a friend, if you are giving them a gift worth of 10 rupees and you want that he also gives you a gift of 10 rupees, instead of building that relation, instead of building that reputation, you are just trying to have like settle things on smaller parts. Okay, so what Trump is doing, sometimes they are praising Pakistan so that Pakistan can like they are trying to balance between India and Pakistan. They think that praising Pakistan can like help to control India, or like supporting Pakistan can help to control India, that India doesn't or India can give its trade rights and all to US. So they are thinking in a very narrow-minded approach right now. Okay. And they are like trying to show it to the world that they are in total control. They can control all the countries, they can control the entire globe right now. So this is our first topic with respect to India and US. I hope it is clear. I hope this part is clear. So this is our first topic with respect to India and US. Now the second topic which we are coming about is India and Canada. Okay. So there is a timeline. There is one timeline. You know that India and Canada relation has worsened in 2023. In 2023, a Khalistani separatist, a terrorist belonging to Khalistani separatist group, Niger, was shot dead in Canada, in British Columbia, basically in British Columbia. And Canada made an allegation, and not just Canada's like any local level officer, the Canadian Prime Minister at that time, Justin Trudeau, he made an allegation, an absurd allegation, that India is involved in the killing of Niger and he was considered as a Canadian citizen. So in 2023, there was killing of this Niger, and from here itself we have seen that India-Canada relation worsened. Okay. India-Canada relation worsened. So just think about this, that how much lack of maturity can be there. And recently we have seen this. There was a very good argument. I think in the previous class also I may have told you this, that there was a recent conversation between one of the journalists of First Post and one of the diplomat, So they were saying that they are providing freedom of expression to Khalistani separatists, that Canada or other countries, they are like free countries, they are democratic countries. So that's why they are giving freedom of speech, they are giving this freedom of expression to them, they are providing them the opportunity to do the press conferences and all. So this is one thing which Canadian diplomat was saying. Then the journalist asked them that those people who are behind Al Qaeda, those who are behind ISIS, they are also like freedom fighter for their own country. They're also demanding a Islamic state. They're also demanding their own country. Taliban is also demanding their own country. So are you going to give them that freedom of expression? Are you going to provide them that opportunity to have a press conference in Canada at any point of time? So your terrorist is terrorist, but our terrorist is freedom fighter. So that is the double face of Western worlds in terms of terrorism. That's why India has always been saying that there is nothing like good terrorism or bad terrorism. Any form of terrorism anywhere in the world is a bad terrorism. It is only bad. So terrorism is not good for anyone. It is always bad. So just because it is serving your ideology or your interest, you can classify some as good terrorist and some as bad terrorist. So that's now how it goes. Okay. So on one hand, they are saying all about democracy, all about these things. But on the other hand, they are like providing these terrorists freedom of expression, these terrorists an opportunity, a ground to have conspiracy against India. So that's why India and Canada relation worsened over period of time. That's why it has become worse over period of time. So this is one thing which we see in case of India-Canada relation. And after this Niger case, what we have seen that both the countries have expelled senior diplomats. The visa services were suspended. The dialects between India and Canada has frozen. Trade negotiations have been stalled. Okay. So as a result of all this, what happened? That after this Niger case, what we see that all the things have stopped. Okay. Senior diplomats, the senior diplomats who were there, they have been expelled. They have been expelled. Then after that, dialogues frozen. Visa services suspended. Trade relations stalled. So this is one thing which has happened after the Niger case. And yes, of course, at that point of time, the Prime Minister who was there in Canada, he was having his own domestic issues. So perhaps for getting more and more vote over there, he tried to do all these things. But eventually he lost. Eventually he has lost the elections. And now there is a new government in Canada. They have not taken a radical shift, but at the same time, this is the beginning of relation again. Now we see that resumption of all these services. Okay. What has been said that now we are going to have change. What is the change? The change is that the high commissioners, they are going to be reinstated. The high commissioners who are there, they are going to be reinstated. So India has already named them and Canada is going to name. So we have seen that high commissioners has been reinstated. Then after we see that visa services is going to resume. Trade talks, trade and dialogue, that is also going to take place. Okay. So now we see that trade and dialogue, it is also going to start. Moreover, there is going to be a discussion with respect to critical minerals, with respect to energy, with respect to all other things. Okay, with respect to this economic connectivity also. Okay. So all these things are going to restart now. There is going to be discussion on clean energy, critical minerals, digital economy. So again, on these fronts also, India and Canada are going to resume their relation. So while we have seen that many of the discussion have been frozen in the past, now it is going to start again. Okay. So that is one good thing, or that is one positive outcome of the G7. We were discussing about G7 a few days earlier, and there I told you that once there is something outcome of it, we will discuss that. So on the sidelines of this G7 summit, India and Canada relations has started again. There is resumption of many services, and we hope that now both countries will come together and talk about the real things, not just about that one single case. Okay. So this is one part. Okay. Yes. So although Canada has not been a very steady supplier of uranium, in fact, Canada is one of the countries which has created, or which has led to slowing of our uranium programs multiple times. From the 1960s to the present, many a times Canada has been up and down. Okay. So Canada is one such country and Canada and India, they have been having ups and downs in relation multiple times. In the past also it has been done. Sometimes it becomes too much positive, sometimes again it goes to the lowest level. So right now we see that again there is a resumption of the services. That's a good one. Okay. So that is second topic with respect to India and Canada. Now coming to the third part, Operation Sindhu. So it is one simple thing. Iran and Israel conflict has intensified, and we have launched Operation Sindhu. So what we see that, like those people, those Indian diaspora which has been stuck in Iran, they are being evacuated from there via Armenia and Doha to India. Okay. So there is a name which you have to keep in mind, that is Operation Sindhu. There are some other names also which you can keep in mind, like there is this Operation Ganga. It was during Ukraine crisis in 2022. So we had this Operation Ganga in Ukraine crisis. So it was for evacuating Indian during the Russia-Ukraine war. Then we have this Operation Devi Shakti, which was during the takeover of Afghanistan by Taliban. So there was Operation Devi Shakti. Then we have this Vande Bharat mission. Okay. So it was not in one part, it was throughout the world during the COVID-19 problem. Then we have this Operation Rahat, which was there in Yemen. So when there was a war in Yemen, so during that we have this Operation Rahat. So that was in 2015. Operation Matri was also there in Nepal. These are some of the major, although there have been some minor missions also, and in the past there have been many such missions. But these are some of the major operations or major missions which has been carried out by India in the recent times. Okay. In Sudan also we were having some missions, okay, in other countries also, but these are the major missions in the recent 10 years. Okay. So Operation Matri, Operation Rahat, Vande Bharat mission, Devi Shakti, Operation Ganga, they have been the major missions by India in the recent times. Okay. So this is also one part. In Canada also made indirect. Yes. There was like during the G7 summit. In its joint statement, they have talked about this transnational repression, but there has been no direct reference. So there has been no direct reference, but yes, they have given this one part in G7. So it is the same thing. they also have to take care of politics in their home. You may have seen that when Indian Prime Minister was invited to Canada, at that point of time in their parliament, there has been, and in their area, there has been a huge opposition. The opposition leaders, the other leaders, they have been saying that no, India should not have been invited. So they have to do something for their own public also. Okay. It is a mix of things. So while these statements may come and go, the main thing is that the services has again started. Services has again resumed. So that is one positive part. Okay. It has been sent first to Armenia, then from Armenia they have gone to Doha, and from Doha they have come to India. So that is Operation Sindhu and other operation. Now we have this one topic called as Indian Standard Time. Okay. So can you tell me, like, this Indian Standard Time, before we go into this, can you tell me, there is one meridian 82 degree 30 minute east, 82 degree 30 minute east, or sometimes you simply call it 82.5 degree east longitude. So this is considered as the meridian for calculating the Indian Standard Time. So can you tell me that through which states of India the IST is passing through? That is one standard basic NCERT question. Can you tell me through which states of India the IST is passing through? Like, through which states it is passing through? Which are the states? Which are the states having this IST? Uttar Pradesh is there, yes. Mirzapur in Uttar Pradesh, that is famously known for IST. Okay. UP, MP, Chhattisgarh, Andhra Pradesh. Okay. There is one state which is missing. Odisha, yes. UP, MP, Chhattisgarh, Odisha, and Andhra Pradesh. So there are 5 states through which it is passing. You can just see it here. From Mirzapur in Uttar Pradesh via Madhya Pradesh, then Chhattisgarh, then it passes through Odisha, and then Andhra Pradesh. So, like, these are the locations. These are the locations through which it is passing through. Okay. So 5 states are there in India through which the IST passes, and we have chosen this one such area for calculation of Indian Standard Time. Okay. Now, if we talk about this, like, what is the rule saying all about? Like, why we have come with this rule? What is the purpose? Okay. It is simply that throughout the country, we are going to have one standard time. Normally, we are using one standard time itself. But sometimes for some of the operations, like for flight operations or for other operations, we may be using different times. Okay. Different airports or different other areas may be using different times for flight operations or other operations. So now it has been mandated that throughout the country, from Gujarat to Arunachal Pradesh, there will be one standard time which has to be used in all cases. Okay. So that is one thing, that there has to be one single time. There is in fact a popular tagline which was given in PIB, that one nation, one time. One nation, one time. We are following this one nation, one time itself most of the time. The normal people are following one nation, one time only. But then the operators who are there, they might be using different time, because there is a difference. When we talk about India, if we talk about Gujarat, if we talk about Gujarat and if we talk about this region of Arunachal Pradesh, they are separated almost by 30 degree. The difference between these two areas is almost about 30 degree. Okay. Here it is almost 68 degree, okay, 68 degree east, and here it is about 97.25 degree or 97 degree 25 minute east. Okay. So from 68 degree east to almost 97 degree east, we have a difference of almost 30 degree. We have a difference of almost 30 degree. And if you have all read geography, you may have seen that 1 degree longitude is equal to 4 minutes. If you have seen geography, if you have read basic NCERTs also, you may have seen this part, that difference of 1 degree longitude means there is going to be a difference of 4 minutes. So between the portions of Gujarat to Arunachal Pradesh, there is a difference of 30 degree. So it is approximately 120 minutes. It is approximately 120 minutes. It means 2 hours. There is a difference of almost 2 hours. So what happens that, suppose right now, if you are in Uttar Pradesh, if you are even Uttar Pradesh, and Uttar Pradesh, let us assume, take an example. Okay. Take an example that in Uttar Pradesh, if the sunrise time is 5:30 in UP, in Mirzapur, then what we will see that in Arunachal Pradesh, it is going to be almost around 4:30, and in Gujarat, it is going to be 6:30. Okay. So if there is 5:30 sunrise time in Uttar Pradesh, so it doesn't mean that in Gujarat also the sun will rise at 5:30. No, it is going to rise at 6:30. And in Arunachal Pradesh, it has already risen at 4:30. So if we compare Arunachal and Gujarat, there is a difference of 2 hours. So by the time, like suppose they are going to office at 9, by the time they are going to office at, like, let's say 9:30, there is 5 hours of sun. There is 5 hours of sun, so it is almost overhead. When they are going to offices at 9:30, the sun is already overhead. And for these people, when they are going at 9:30, it is like morning. But when they are coming in the evening, let's say here the sunset is at 6:30. Sunset is at 6:30. Let's say sunset is at 6:30. So in Gujarat, it will be 7:30. And here in Arunachal Pradesh, it is going to be 5:30. So if they are coming back from the offices at 6 p.m., let's say if they are coming back from the offices at 6 p.m. or 6:30 p.m., it is dark in Arunachal Pradesh. But if they are coming at 6:30, it is already, like, it is not even sunset. In the evening, if they are coming back from their office, it is sunrise over there in Gujarat. That sun is still over there in the sky. So there is a difference between Gujarat and Arunachal Pradesh. Now, what is the problem? In some areas, you will need to have extra light, especially during the night time. Like in Arunachal Pradesh, you will need to have light after 5:30 p.m. You will need to have a street light. And if there are no street light, there are chances that there can be more criminal activities or safety issues may be there. Now, again in Gujarat, those people who will have to go in the morning, they may again face challenge. Think about this. If we follow that one single time that in all the states, the exam is going to be conducted at 8 a.m. Let us say UPSC says that at 8 a.m. we are going to have exam. So in Arunachal Pradesh, by 8 a.m., it is quite sufficient light. But in Gujarat, by 8 a.m., it will not be that much of sufficient light because there has been just been sunshine or sunrise. So you may not get all the facilities. At the same time, think about this. When your exam is getting over, let's say at 5:30 or 6 p.m., so in Uttar Pradesh, there may be sunlight. In Gujarat, there may be sun overhead. But in Arunachal Pradesh, it is going to be dark. So there is a challenge from east to west. There is going to be a challenge from east to west. So there has been a demand that we should have two time zones. One for the western part, one for the eastern part. There has been a demand for this, that we need to have two time zones. It can have help in energy conservation. It can also reduce productivity loss. Okay. It can also have productivity loss. Plus, suppose that if the office hour is from 9 to 6, so for Arunachal Pradesh, there is no leisure time. In the evening, they cannot go out. By 6 p.m., they are already having dark. So you have to get some social life also. Now, government offices have their own time. Government offices are running from 9 to 6. So there is going to be a problem in coordination. There is going to be a problem in social life by having one single time. So that's why there have been a demand from time to time that there should be two different time zones in India. There is a smaller country, France. France is having 12 time zones. Okay. Yes, energy wastage, reduced productivity, disruption of school time. So this is one of the challenge. So that is our next one topic, Indian Standard Time. Now, coming to the last topic, that is UN Water Conference. Okay. So coming to this one last topic, UN Water Conference. Okay. So it is also known as BBNJ Treaty, Biodiversity Beyond Natural Jurisdiction. Last time I told you approx 50, now it has changed to 56. So you know that there was a requirement of signature from 60 people, 60 countries, sorry, for its implementation. Last time I told you approx 50. Now it has actually become 56. So more and more people have signed it. Now the official number is 56. Okay. So 56 countries have signed it. This United Nations Ocean Conference, it is basically focusing on establishing marine protected areas and tackling overfishing, deep sea mining and marine pollution. So it is trying to look into all these things in the high sea region. Okay. It is trying to do all these things in high sea region. I have explained you last day also that what is high sea. I have even given you a question on this, that what is high sea. So in biodiversity beyond natural jurisdiction, there is conservation of high sea. And under the UN Water Conference, United Nations Ocean Conference, not Water Conference, United Nations Ocean Conference, there is a focus on conservation of all these things. Okay. Plus, what we see that, the main challenge, we have already seen that it requires 60 people approval, 60 countries approval. Okay. So what we see that, what is the main challenge? Main challenge for the treaty. The main challenge is how you will go for profit sharing. How will go for profit sharing? Suppose that if you are extracting the resources of high sea, so there is going to be some profit. Now that profit, how it is going to be shared? Who will get the benefit? Now let's say that you are saving it for environment fund. Let's say you are saving it for the environment fund. Now that fund, where it will go? Where that fund is going to be used? Is it going to be equally divided among the countries? or some countries will get more benefit, others will get less benefit. So there is this one major challenge, that how you will divide the profit, how you will do the profit sharing. And there is also this lack of consensus on extracting and distributing marine genetic resources. That extraction and distribution, that is also going to be a challenge. Extraction and distribution, that who will get this? So you know that India has not become a party to this. India has not become a party to this. We have already seen that India is not a party to this. So even now it requires support from 4 countries, and there is a chance that by the end of this year it will come into force. Okay. So biodiversity beyond natural jurisdiction is there, talking about high seas, talking about conservation of resources over there. Okay. So this is one part which we had to see. I hope this one is also clear. We are repeating this topic. We have already seen it in the past. We are just repeating it. So any question from any of the topic? Or I think one of you were saying that there was one question. So you can ask me now. You can ask your question now. So what was your question? In India, 2 zone will be possible. Like, it seems very little chance. Government has already come with this one nation, one time. These days we are having focus on oneness. One nation, one election, one nation, one tax, one nation, one market, one nation, 1%. Not 1%, 1.46 billion person. One nation, one time. So right now there is focus on this oneness. One nation, one law. Yes, they might have said it. Like, United States is waiting for a very long period of time for having a good leader. Time management, देखो, those, I think you are also in work. I think, Nilu. So for time management, what I will suggest, that since you are already, you have already read a number of things, you already have knowledge of the topics. So what I would suggest you, that try to focus in the next 6 months, try to focus on this part, that you are reading your optionals on daily basis, and plus you are also going through your GS. So if you are going for your GS and optional in the next 6 months, I think you will be very much confident about the mains. Plus at the same time, for prelims also, I guess that this year, perhaps in 2025, you have not been able to give that much attention on the prelims. So I would suggest you that for 26 prelims, like, start from the month of December itself. Start solving as many questions as you can. Start giving as many tests you can. You already have the knowledge. You just need to, like, improve your skills of solving the questions. Find out the weak spots, that where you are lacking. So if you find that what is your weakest spot, where you are lacking, then you can work on it. And morning time, I think it will be best. Like in the morning, try to wake up. At what time your school starts? Like, what is your school timing? What is your school timing in general? There is one option. If you are going in a school, try teaching them the same thing which you know. You can ask them to leave what you are reading in schools. Start reading directly for UPSC. You're going to start teaching them, like, let's start with rule of law and procedure established by law. You are having school in the morning itself. Like, how much time? I don't know about the school routine. Is it for 7-8 hours or 5-6 hours? 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Why are the students being tortured? Why are you people torturing students from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m.? So then I think, I guess that you have time in the evening only. I think perhaps from 5, you are watching classes from 5. So after 6 or after 7, I think you can study for 3 or 4 hours, like 7 to 9 and then 10 to 12. And then in the morning, perhaps at 5 o'clock, you can wake up and for 1 hour, you can study a little bit. Like, of course, there is going to be a challenge in managing time, but I think 4-5 hours you can manage. I think this is one thing you can do. Like, you are already having 1 hour of current affairs right now. So for other portions, like in the evening, you can take 4-hour slot. And in the morning, I think 1 hour slot can be there. So if we continuously do it, and on Saturday, I think the time will be a little bit less. Like school may be, may come from school early. On Saturday, if you're having time, you can manage more there. And on Sunday, you can give more time. So this is one thing which you can do. Your school is also giving torture. Yes, schools are asking students to like study from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. It should be like 8 a.m. to 12, maximum 4 hours. What more you have to teach them? In 4 hours, just give them whatever you want to give. You have 1 hour for teaching those 5 or 6 books. Like, just to give an example, if we are reading any book of class 6 or class 7 now, it will take hardly 1 or 2 weeks for completing it. So why are you having so much long hours? You can have just relaxation for them. Or you can start teaching them for UPSC. But yes, in these 4 or 5 hours you can manage. So Nilu, I think if for essay you won't have to worry that much. If you are getting the content and everything, like you can give 1 hour or 2 hours for essay on like every Sunday, but remaining time you can use for GS and optional. So for essay, don't give that much time right now. First focus on like getting good preparation in the GS part and the optional part. Essay can be done easily, don't worry about it. So anyone else having any question, any other question which you want to ask? Okay, so I think that will be. I know that 12 hours of study might not be possible right now after the uh, job which you are having. So even if you are going for 5 hours or 6 hours, you already have like good knowledge. You already have good knowledge of topics. 4 or 5 hours is sufficient for brushing them. Okay. So just go for 4 to 5 hours strategic study. That will be sufficient. So thank you so much, everyone. Take care. All the best. And tomorrow we will meet again to discuss these topics, discuss other topics. Thank you. Take care.